Good morning, children. Today we will talk about diary writing. Diary writing is a personal document. Unlike letter writing, where you write something and send to your friends or anyone else, or email writing, where you write somebody officially, diary entry or diary writing is totally personal document which you are writing for yourself. Since children, you are in the lockdown for a month or more, you can write whatever is happening to you or whatever you are experiencing or whatever you are seeing throughout the day in a paper or in a diary or maybe an old notebook. This is called diary writing. Now today I will teach you the format of diary writing. What is the format? It is very simple. Unlike letter writing, you don't have to be very formal about it. You have to just write the date. Today's date, 25 of April. You can put the year. It's your choice. You can write the year like 2020. 25 April 2020. Saturday, today's date, and then the time. What time you are writing? In the morning, afternoon, in the evening, at night. 10 a.m. is the time right now. And then you write dear diary and put a comma. Then you write whatever you are experiencing. You have lots to write nowadays because you are at home, you are enjoying with your family, you are studying, you are playing, but stay indoors, children, and whatever else you are doing. Then lastly, you have to write your name. Your name. You don't write your name, but your name. Like my name is Anita, so you write here Anita. This is what diary writing. It's very simple. Once more I am repeating. You write the date and the year. Its year is optional. You can write only the date. Then the day, which day you are writing, so that you remember or you recollect later on. The time, and then you write dear diary, put a comma. Write in simple sentences. Write whatever you are experiencing, whatever. Throughout the day, whatever you are doing, you just note down at the end of the day and write it, and then your name. This is what diary entry or diary writing. Now, I will come to the next part of this today's lesson, that is subject-verb agreement. Now, what is subject-verb agreement? Before I go to that, I will ask you what is verb. Verb, as we have already discussed and done, it is a word which tells you when what an action is done. Like I am talking to you. So talking or talk is verb. You are listening to me. Listen is a verb. There is a number of words which work as verb, like run, sit, jump, walk, study, talk, eat, drink, many more. Now, when we frame a sentence, first of all, a sentence is never complete without a verb. Every sentence must have a verb. Now, when we are writing the verb, there is something called subject-verb agreement. Now, what is subject-verb agreement? In the sentence, whatever we are talking about or whoever we are talking about is the subject. Like I say, Raj studies English for an hour. Now, about whom we are talking? We are talking about Raj. So, Raj is the subject. Suppose I say, my mother cooks tasty food. About whom we are talking? We are talking about my mother. So, my mother is the subject. Suppose I say, the cat lives near my house. About whom we are talking? The cat. Cat is the subject. Suppose I say another example I give you. The pen is black in color. About whom we are talking? We are talking about the thing called pen. So this is the subject. So understood now about the person we are talking, about a thing we are talking, they are the subject. Now when we frame the sentence, when we write a sentence, the sentence should have an agreement. Agreement means it should go together, verb and subject. Suppose the subject is singular, like my mother. Mother, we are talking about one person, my mother. So my mother will take a singular verb. My mother prepares or makes tasty food. Now I'll just tell you how you will have to do it. Children, look at the sentences given here. My mother makes tasty food. Now which is the subject here? My mother. We are talking about mother. So my mother is the subject. Now my mother is one, singular. So here we have to write the verb adding an S. My mother makes tasty food. He writes. He is also singular. We are talking about a person. So he writes neatly. Okay. But when we are talking about the plural subject, when we are talking about more people, then in the verb we will not put S. Remember it. Like I say, the children play football, not plays football. The children are many. When we say the child plays football, but the children play football. They live in Mumbai. They means many, more than one. It may be two or many. So they live in Mumbai. Had it been like he or she, he lives in Mumbai or she lives in Mumbai. Clear? So when it is singular subject, we will put an S with the verb. But if the subject is plural, we won't put any S with the verb. So when the subject is singular, verb is also singular. Like I say, my parents and I. Now here I used and. My parents and I are staying at home. Is and are. Is used for singular subject. Are is used for plural subject in present tense. Similarly, in the past tense we will use was for singular subject, were for plural subject. Like I say, my mother and I were going to the market yesterday. But if I say one, singular subject, my father was driving the car yesterday. My father is singular subject, so was. When it is plural, it will be were. So my parents and I are many, so are staying at home. They were studying English yesterday. When there are many, we will say were. But if it is singular subject, like you will say he is studying English now. Okay. I, when it is I, and when it is in present tense, we will say am. I am studying English now. Okay. Now the second thing is that collective noun takes singular verbs. Just in the previous lesson we have studied about collective noun. Collective noun means a collection of people or thing. Now collective noun, though it is a collection, but it takes a singular verb. Like I said, the army of soldiers is protecting the country. The swarm of bees is flying in the sky. Okay. Or the bouquet of flowers is given to me. Or the bunch of bananas is kept on the table. So collective noun always takes singular verb. Children, the next point you should remember is that when we use either or neither nor, the verb agrees with the subject placed near the verb. Now what is the meaning? If you see the sentence, look at the sentence, you will understand. Either Rita or Renu is going to win the match. Now here, before the verb is going, our subject is put is Renu. Now Renu is singular subject, so it is written here is going. But in the second sentence, if you look carefully, either Rita or her cousins are going to win the match. Now here cousins means many, so it is a plural subject, so we have used the word are. So it depends, when we have these words called either or neither nor, we have to use is or are or was, where according to the subject which is placed just before the verb. We have two subjects, but we will look at the second one. Similarly, in this sentence, the third sentence, you can see neither Raman nor his brother know the answer. Now here Raman is the first subject, but his brother is one singular subject. It is only a singular subject. That's why we have used the word verb knows. We have used this S after the verb know. Similarly, the last sentence, neither Raman nor his friends. Here it is plural subject, so we use the verb know, not knows. Clear? Similarly, whenever you will get sentences with singular subject, you use is. If you have got plural subject, you use are. Second thing is that has and have. Next, we will talk about has, had and had. Now, where we use has, where we use have and where we use had. When it is singular, we use has and it is for present tense. Like my father has a car. Father is singular subject, so we use has. In any other sentence we can use the tree has some fruits. The boy has a toy. But when we are using for plural subjects, then we use have. My parents have a car. I say the children have a football. The boys have blue shirts. And when we use had is used for past tense and it is only used for singular also and plural also. It can be singular subject also we use had, plural subject also we use had. And had is used only in past tense. My mother had a car last year. But in present tense, if it is singular subject, we use has, and if it is plural subject, we use had. My uncle had a bungalow last year, or I had a bicycle last year. Okay, children, I hope you understood has and have and had. Thank you.